It's time for Where You Live with Gene and Tony, the show that's all about owning, buying, selling, renting, and association management. If it involves a home, we'll talk about it. Here's your chance to get your homeowner questions answered. From the Concierge Landscape Studios, here's Gene and Tony.
Needed the shelter of someone's arms, and there you were. Needed someone to understand my...
Good morning and welcome to Where You Live with Gene and Tony. I'm Gene Sullivan.
And I'm Tony Crockett. How are you today, Gene?
I'm pretty good. I think
Good.
a little froggy the voice.
Are you?
But,
You got some spring allergies going on?
That could be that, or a spring cold that's been hanging on for a few days.
Yeah.
Well,
you still sound very good. Very, very...
Effervescent?
Full, almost effervescent, yes. Your voice sounds very good.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
Well, folks, welcome to the show. We're so glad to have you with us. We've, of course, are broadcasting from the Concierge Landscape Studios. We're brought to you this first hour by Extreme Exteriors and American Family Insurance, the Kim Bennett Agency. And we've got a lot of great stories to cover. A little bit later in the show, our president has come out with a number of initiatives, housing initiatives, to try and address the housing crisis that we've been in for the last number of years with foreclosures and people underwater with their mortgages. We're going to take a look at what some of those initiatives are and try and take a look at them closely to see what he's offering as a possible solution. We also have got a story, a great one, coming out of California where a goat, or maybe a number of goats, were heroes to one association.
Oh, that sounds good.
And we'll go in that in a little bit. And also another story out of Atlanta, Georgia. Tony, there's an association that had two homes owned by the city or an agency of the city, and they're not taking care of them. And people are concerned about the values going down.
Yeah.
So we've got a lot to talk about, but of course, first we're going to begin with property management in the news. Property management in the news is brought to you by Pest Control Services. When you need to get rid of unwanted pests in your home or rental property, call someone who's responsive, professional, and a proud member of Angie's List. Give owner Greg Keener a call at 952-894-9748. That's Pest Control Services. This first story is coming out of the state of California. And it has us asking the question, do we really need a law for this? I think a lot of people know that when you buy into a homeowners association, one of the things that is required when you become a member is that you let the homeowner association know that you are now a new owner participating in the association. That usually shouldn't be a problem because people want to start getting information from the association as to proposed budgets for the next year, notices of meetings, that type of thing.
It shouldn't be a problem, but often it is.
And you're right, it is. And so a lot of state statutes, I know ours in Minnesota, just says that the only thing that's required is that someone be able to give the address of where they would like information to
from the association mailed to
be directed to.
But it can be a problem when a new owner neglects to let the association know that they've recently purchased and moved in. We have that occur.
And that is the issue in California that they're trying to deal with.
Okay.
And so it says that the California Legislative Action Committee reports, and this is from CAI, that Assembly Housing and Community Development Committee passed Bill 2273 unanimous, 7-0, saying this proposed legislation will require the recording of foreclosure sales within 30 days after the sale takes place. What has happened here? It says the California LAC reports that the author of the bill, member Bob Wiklowski, a bankruptcy attorney, says has a complete grasp of the multiple issues that this bill triggers, which greatly assists homeowner associations in California in dealing with the escalating opposition from the lending community, trustees, and title companies who are not letting them know when the transfer of the property is now with the bank.
Yeah. So this is specifically about foreclosure sales and when the bank takes possession.
Yes, but it would be...
Which is a really big problem.
Yeah, yes, it is. But they're broadening it, saying that, anytime someone takes ownership of the property, they're going to have, and what this bill that was passed says is you have 30 days to from the date of the sale or the date of, it wouldn't have to be the sale, a quit claim deed.
Whenever ownership changes
Whenever
hands.
there's a transfer. That's right.
So to me, that sounds like a good idea because it is a problem for homeowners associations. If they don't know who currently has possession of the home, they can't bill for assessments. They don't know who to mail information to, as you said before, who gets the budget. So isn't this bill a good thing?
Oh, yeah, it is. It is a good idea, and it's something that should take place because obviously there are a number of people who take the position even after they purchase a home. Let's push foreclosures aside for a second. People who purchase their home feel, well, I've signed umpteen documents at closing. I think I've let everybody and their uncle know that we own, and aren't they filing it with the county for us? And aren't they doing this? And
aren't they informing the association
that everything is done? And that does take place a lot of time, but it is good for a homeowner to push forward a little bit and take a little bit of a proactive stance and make sure that they're registered with the association so that there's no glitches. What happens is one of the common mistakes people make because they don't register with the association, they assume, and have you not heard this, Tony? They say, I thought my homeowner association dues was being paid with my mortgage payment.
Thought they were escrowed with a mortgage payment. Yeah. And that is a common thing, and I know exactly why that happens. Yeah. Because I used to do mortgages. It's because when your mortgage lender is sitting down with you to qualify you for the amount, purchase price that you can afford, they factor in the homeowners association when they're homeowners association fee when they are qualifying you for the amount of your loan. So everyone is under the impression that that's included with taxes, insurance. But it's not. Yeah. And they never inform you otherwise.
Yeah. And so you've got that happens just with people who buy. But the real issue the last couple of years has really been banks take responsibility for a unit, for a property, because they foreclose on an individual. And they really don't take the time to follow through.
I would venture to say that banks do not take responsibility for the unit. Yeah. They're happy to follow their foreclosure process and move out a delinquent borrower, but then they don't take any further responsibility, and that's caused a lot of trouble for homeowner associations.
Yes, it really has.
So you say this bill is good?
Well, the intent is good.
Okay.
The problem that I have is I don't think there's any teeth in this, even though all this bill is doing. It says, the person who wrote the bill said that this bill would provide that an acquiring owner of a separate interest shall have, within 30 days of receiving title, provide to the association's board secretary, agent or manager, or designated representative a copy of the owner's deed or other document showing that there was a transfer and that they've acquired it, and let them know of the owner's mailing address. But there is no indication as to how an association would enforce this new proposed legislation,
which is what the problem currently is.
Well, I think that's the issue, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, a lot of what we have here is someone who says, "Here's a problem." They've rightly identified a problem and an issue.
Yeah.
But can you state by proclamation now that we're letting you know that this is wrong? Does that mean that you have 100%
So now
enforcement?
you may never cause this problem again. No, you don't, because actually governing documents already say that, at least in Minnesota. Governing documents usually already say that you have to notify the homeowners association, a new owner.
Yeah.
And no one pays any attention to that. So this is what we see over and over and over again. So people are not complying with the existing rules. So let's create a new rule. Now they'll comply with the new rule.
And that's what I want us to address, because, it's not just homeowner associations to deal with it. It's legislatures, too. Mm-hmm. And when you have a law that has no enforcement piece, all you have is a suggestion, not a law. But we'll go into that a little bit further, but we're going to take a break right now. Don't go away. We'll be back after these messages.